Let's get you some analysis now on one of our lead stories, and that's the ANC in Mpumalanga endorsing Cyril Ramaphosa for a second term as ANC president and Ronald Lamola as his deputy. The Provincial Executive Committee held its meeting on Friday. It says leadership issues should be discussed openly in the PEC and branches, and no members should be punished for expressing their views. Well, let's discuss this now with political analyst Sandile Swana, who joins me now for that conversation. Good afternoon, and thank you for your time. What do you make of this? The ANC in Mpumalanga following the lead set by the ANC in Limpopo in endorsing Cyril Ramaphosa for the position of president of the ANC come December 2022. But interestingly, they differ on the position of who should be the deputy president of the ANC. At this point, Sandile Swana, it doesn't seem to me that anyone is talking about David Mabuza returning to that position. A vast of, a variety of names are being suggested.
Yes, I suppose the ANC on the part of Cyril Ramaphosa is maintaining whatever position they had taken in Mangaung when they introduced him for the first time as a person who who's much more appetizing to investors and much more tolerable from a corruption point of view. Coming to the issue of David Mabuza, he got this position by, he bought himself this position by supporting Cyril into the 2017 presidency against NDZ. It may well be that there are many quotas who would then say this chap cannot be trusted. Let's do away with him. Secondly, as you correctly point out of the names that have been mentioned in your show, I didn't hear the one of Oscar Mabuyane, and I had to check because it appears, I think it's the Daily Maverick that said the Eastern Cape.
All right, let's give Sandile Swana a moment to just fix that situation. As you saw, a bit of a disruption while we were having our conversation. He's back. Let's continue with the conversation. Let's pick up where we left off. You were talking about Oscar Mabuyane. and it seems to have muted you as well, Sandile Swana.
Oscar Mabuyane seems, according to the Daily Maverick, to be a candidate. Oh, my God. What is happening? This is another day. Can you see me now?
We can, but the angle is a bit different, but I think we'll live with it. Yes, do continue.
We'll live with it. Let's live with it. Let's do this. So what then happens, Oscar Mabuyane seems to be one of the candidates, but the pattern that we are seeing is that the younger leaders, including the Minister of Justice, are coming in to compete for the position of David Mabuza. So the younger lobby in the ANC seems to be carrying the day for now. And it is probably a tool to compete with the EFF, somebody who can counter, and for that, Lamola is probably the perfect candidate. David Mabuza seems to be in trouble right now.
Sure. But I suppose then the names of the younger leaders, the likes of Ronald Lamola and Mamulo Kokubai also being raised there in terms of, people to ascend to the higher echelons of ANC leadership. Even Paul Mashatile, by, the standards we've lived with, is actually still relatively young-ish to even be mentioned in that position, in those positions of leadership in the top structures of the ANC. I suppose then it all talks to what the former country president, Kgalema Motlanthe, is talking about today, saying that it's time for young and fresh leadership in the country. Young and fresh, Sandile Swana, but will that leadership be up to the task of sort of endearing the ANC with the masses? Because really, at the moment, that's what the challenge is. The ANC can get as young and fresh a leadership it wants, but if it's not the leadership that will be seen by society to be suitable, fit for purpose at the moment, it will all mean nothing.
The key to all of this is the word fresh, meaning that, for instance, a person like Lamola needs to be seen to be bringing a high level of competence and productivity, in other words, high performance, in the very portfolio that is in which the ANC has come to be known for non-delivery. If he were to be seen as a person who's distinguished himself in high performance, high service delivery, yes, then that would be fresh. Again, if Lamola is seen as someone who is aligned with the rule of law, free from corruption, and able to bring about order and discipline all around him, that would be fresh. It's something new that we have not seen in the ANC in a long time. So indeed, you need to be young and fresh, but fresh in the way of thinking, fresh in the way of doing.
Yeah. Lastly, let's talk a little bit about the Letsema campaign being revived. At its heart, the ANC president, Cyril Ramaphosa, this time in Tzaneen, he's an embattled president facing all those questions around the Phala situation and the judgment coming out of the Western Cape Division of the High Court around his suspension of the public protector will not have helped in easing all of that pressure. But it seems none of these issues are featuring highly in the considerations by the various provinces. They acknowledge these issues, but it seems like it's a matter of just sweeping them aside. Just your thinking around that, around the issues currently arising around the leadership of Cyril Ramaphosa, the questions that he is facing. Are they likely to trip him up, to cause obstacles that he will have to, really strain to jump over? Or will they be swept aside and he has a clear path to the leadership of the ANC come December?
The leaders and the members of the ANC are missing a very important point of this. The short answer to your question is that the ANC leaders, the likes of Mbalula, Kwete Mantashe, and all the heavy hitters in the ANC are going to try their best to sweep this aside. But you can only sweep this aside inside the ANC. In society, it will not be easy to sweep it aside. Among the members of parliament, it will not be easy to sweep it aside. In the investment community, it will not be easy to sweep it aside.